enjoyed it. This is what I have left over. These balls look horrible. I don't know why I'm showing you like this. Hey y'all, it's Bethany and welcome to the Wandering Purl podcast. I have had a flurry of new subscribers, so I just wanted to say hello to everyone returning and of course all of our new viewers. I'm just going to do a little introduction of who I am for everyone who is tuning in. I think I have this the thanks to give to Allie of Little Drops of Wonderful, who mentioned me in her vlog. Thank you, Allie, and thank you if you guys came over from her mentioning me. But like I said, I'm Bethany. I am a mom and wife, and my husband of almost 18 and a half years is a travel nurse, and we have been traveling for the last 10 and a half years all across the United States. We are currently in Indianapolis, Indiana, which is kind of the beginning of the Midwest of the United States for those who don't live here in the States. But we have traveled coast to coast. We have 3 kids. Our daughter is Felicity and she is 16. And then we have our boys, Kai and Grayson, who are 14 and 13. And yes, we are all teenagers in this house. Not me and my husband, but the kids are, and it's crazy. But we currently live in our 43-foot fifth wheel. We also have Tweets, who will probably be making himself known. So we'll see how this goes. But we do live in a 43-foot fifth wheel, which is kind of like a large camper van. It's just the way it attaches makes it a fifth wheel, or at least that's what it's called here in the United States. And yeah, we travel with our dogs, cats, birds, and teenagers all over. I have been crocheting for about 13 years and knitting for, oh dear, about 6 years now. I also started sewing just a year ago and now have the Wandering Purl bags, which will be linked down below and I'll be talking about at the end of the podcast. But that's kind of me in a nutshell. Glad to have you. Thank you so much for joining in. And you might notice that I am inside filming. I wanted to film this outside desperately, and have been trying to wait until I could, but the weather is not cooperating. It is 54 degrees outside right now. However, it is very, very windy. And where I would sit would be in the shade, which would make it even colder. So we're just gonna do it inside and see if we can get it done. It is after daylight savings time now. The dog is trying to get up on the bed, so if you can hear all that huffing and puffing, that is River. She is our Australian Shepherd. She is turning, she's about 10 right now. Yeah, she was trying to get up on the bed. Anyways, I digress. I'm so distracted. But it is daylight savings, which means that we now have daylight longer, which is the best because it means that for me, who am not a morning person, I can get things done longer with daylight, which is great for taking photos, filming podcasts, and all that kind of thing. So yeah, that I'm in my happy place right now. We're gonna talk finished objects. I have 2. Then we're gonna talk works in progress, upcoming projects, life, and then some shop update information at the very end. So let's go ahead and get started. So I have 2 finished objects to share with you this time, and they are both socks, both pairs of socks. 4 socks, 2 pairs. But the last ones I was working, the first pair that I'm going to talk about, I showed in the last podcast, and they are the mini Skein socks for Brian, and I finished these up on February 27th of last month. Brian has already worn these, and these have already been washed twice actually, but I currently cannot find the second sock. I don't know where it is. It's probably somewhere in my room somewhere, maybe mixed in with the other dirty clothes. I don't know, but I just have this one to share with you. So this is what I'm calling the mini Skein socks. There were 6, was there 6 or 5? I think there were 5 mini Skeins in the set that my friend Jessica gifted me. It is by Bigfoot Yarn Company in the mini bundle. And hold on, I have all the thingamajiggers somewhere. What did I do with, oh, it's sitting right here. So this is a yarn cup, and I am currently holding all of the yarns and needles that I have used and haven't put away yet, including the tags. So here is the tag for the yarn. Bigfoot Yarn Co. And this was a, it doesn't even say, yeah, 5 skein mini bundle. And I just kind of alternated them, kind of like you would a Mandy's Making a Share pair, or like how I used to, and then switched over and did the 2 more on the bottom. I did a heel flap and gusset. These are hairy because they have been worn and washed, and everything in my house gets hairy, just because 1, I have too many animals, and 2, it's springtime, so they are all shedding horribly, and it's just the best. Note the sarcasm. But yes, these were done. I think they look very interesting. Maybe not the most aesthetically pleasing, but I enjoyed working with this yarn. It was really pretty. I really particularly like this brown. Let's see, will you focus? Maybe not. Well, I really like the brown. You can see all the fuzz. That's a really pretty color. Oh, I got really dark. There we go. I don't know what's happening. But I do have scraps of yarn in here, as well as needles. This big mess is what I have left of the yarn from those socks. I need to get them sorted and put them correctly. Excuse me. Go that way. Thank you. Go. Told you it was gonna be a mess. Then that's Chopper saying hello. But that's what I have left of those. I did 72 stitches vanilla pattern for these socks. I did 20 rounds of 2x2 ribbing, heel flap and gusset, and used a US 1 2.25 millimeters. Yeah, that's about it. That's all I have to say about these. So Brian was happy to get another pair of socks. And I was happy to have some vanilla knitting to not have to think about anything, which was very nice. So those are the first pair of socks. The second pair I made for my dad for his birthday. His birthday was actually February 28th, but I was late in getting these done for him. So I started them March 1st and finished them on March 9th. I also had gifted yarn for this. Thank you very much, from Roz. She gifted me a chit that knits, and this is in her Harvest Sunset. I had never used Tammy's yarn before, but I really enjoyed it. This is what I have left over. These balls look horrible. I don't know why I'm showing you like this. That's a little better. But this is what I had left over. Again, full of hair. Oh my gosh. I feel like a mess today. I used 80.49 grams to make my dad's socks. I don't have them here with me since I've already gifted them, so you will have seen a picture of the finished socks. I think they turned out really great. My dad loves knitted socks and is very knit worthy. All of my notes for what I did, like how many rows for everything and all that jazz, are on my Ravelry project page, which will be linked down below. But yeah, these were a really quick make, and already gone and off to probably being worn by my dad because he really likes them. So yeah, that's all I got for finished objects. I am really excited to show you all the progress that I have made on my, what is this called? Larkspur. On the Larkspur that I am making. So this is a pattern by Wool & Pine. I absolutely love their patterns. They are just beautiful and they're just so fun to knit. So the Larkspur is a sweater, and I'm making the size 48. I am using a US 5, which is a 3.75 millimeter, and then a US 6, which is a 4 millimeter. I started this on Valentine's Day, and over a month in, and I'm still not done, but that's okay. That's okay. I have made so much progress. I just actually moved this from a drawstring bag into my everything bag. I really need to make myself a mini everything bag because it's there's a little room in here. But I think the mini would be perfect for this. Anyways, it's a bag by me. Oh, I did make this. This is brand new that I made myself. Sorry about that. But this is my Notion pouch, and I just made this one for myself, and I'm really loving it. And I love how it just hooks on to the D-clip in there. Anyways, let's show you the progress on this sweater. So where was I last time? Last time we spoke, I was right here where this little possum is by Simply Serving that my sister gifted me. And I had just done basically the shoulders. But now I've done the entire front. So I am really, really pleased with how much I've gotten done. By the end of it, I was going through and knew exactly which it was let me see, how many repeats is it? It is a 6-row repeat, and I was able to do it without even really thinking about it. So we have kind of like half cables on here, but I love cables. I'm obsessed with cables at the moment. I just want to make all the things with cables. So what I did was you do one shoulder and then the second shoulder, and you attach them, and then you go all the way down, and then you put it on try it on tubing or whatever you use when you need to put your stitches on hold. So I did that, and then you come back and you pick up the stitches up on the shoulder here. Where we at? There we go. And then you put, you do each side. You do some short row shaping on both sides, which is nice, and then you attach it, and then the back is all stockinette. So I'm just knitting and purling back and forth, and I've gotten quite a bit done on here as well. Last night we were watching some TV, and I did this much. So from the little marker all the way down, and that was like 2 or 3 episodes of a TV show. So I was really happy with that progress. I have like needles and all kinds of things that are just going everywhere. I don't remember, I think this was the night before, but I wound up my 2 skeins of yarn that I have for this. So I have my balls of yarn. I have been really lazy and haven't gotten my Swift out in a while, or my ball winder or cake winder. So I've just been sitting and winding them by hand, and at the moment that is working. I still think I'm going to run out of yarn though. I don't think I'm going to have enough. I don't know. We're going to see. I'm just going to kind of hope and pray, because this yarn is no longer available for purchase, I don't believe. This is also some gifted yarn by my friend Roz. Thank you so much. I am enjoying working with this so much. The yarn is Dragonfly Fibers, and it is in their, however you pronounce that, I'm not even going to try because I'll mess it up, in the colorway Birch. If you by chance have some of this in your stash and are willing to de-stash it to me, I would be eternally grateful. I'm going to go on Ravelry and message some people. I've already messaged a couple, but I never heard back. So I'm going to go and message other people that I saw that have this in their stash and see if anyone is willing to do that and de-stash to me. I'm willing, of course, to pay for it and shipping and all of that. If not, I might just try to find something really similar and see if I can get it. I don't know, because I'll put the picture up here again of what it looks like. The sleeves are pretty large. They have a big circular circumference, it looks like. So I need to see what I'm going to do But if I have enough yarn, I really hope that I can have this done by the next time I podcast, which would be before we move in May. I think that's doable, especially since the part I'm doing now is literally the easiest part, and is just knitting back and forth. I think I did all of this in like 2 or 3 nights, 3 nights from the very beginning all the way down. And that was including taking like an hour and a half to roll these balls of yarn. So I think that's definitely doable as long as I do what I'm supposed to do. Keep on knitting, like keep my knitting mojo. But I really love this fabric that I chose. I did go down a needle size than what the pattern said, and I'm really happy with that. I'll show you. I was doing this earlier, but I put it over my head. And yeah, I don't know how I feel about the construction of this because it's going to have to be seamed. This is like a mess. But it's going to have to be seamed up the sides, and then I'm assuming pick up the sleeves. So I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of seaming. I feel like it looks better if you just can work in the round. But that's not how it was written. I think it would have worked just as well to have worked it in the round, but that's not what the pattern did. So I'm just doing what the pattern tells me. I know last time I was chatting with you about if I was going to rip back because I had messed up a couple of twisting the wrong way when I was doing my cabling at the very beginning. I decided not to do that and just leave it. And it's really hard. Like, one of them is right here, but I really don't think you're gonna notice unless you're looking really, really close. And if you're looking that close, then I'm sorry, but it's not gonna bother me, so I'm just gonna leave it be. So yeah, I just left it. Anything else I was gonna say about this? Don't think so. I think that was basically it. So really enjoying it. Not a huge fan of how it is put together. I think I just would prefer the round and round and no seaming, but that's okay. And yeah, we'll see. Hopefully I can have it done next time. If you have anyone or know anyone who has this yarn that's willing to destash, please let me know. Because I have these two. I just don't know. I guess it just depends on how much it's going to take for the back. And then sleeves are going to take a lot. So I'm probably going to run out, but we'll see. If I have to, I could always make it short sleeves, I guess, but I really wanted it for a long sleeve. Anyways, that's the only work in progress that I have, but I have been trying to find some new things to cast on. For the most part, I am kind of like, have one hard project, have one easy project. So I might be casting on a pair of socks soon. I don't know. I need to look through my stash. I have a very small stash, but I need to look through it and see if there's any yarn that I can just make some socks out of. I don't know. I gotta find time to look through it too, because it takes like effort, you know? Can't just do it right away. I do have some projects that I am thinking of casting on. I just got notification today that my yarn from Woolberry Yarn Co is shipping. So they've at least created the label. I don't know when it's going to arrive. Actually, it's shipping to my parents' house in Virginia, because I didn't know it was ordered before we knew that we were extending this last time. So yeah, I just have things shipped to their house in case something happens and we have to leave. So they'll have to ship it to me, and then we just have to pray that Indianapolis mail doesn't lose things again. So I am going to be making the 3 Seasons pullover by Wool and Pine with this. I am so excited to make this. I bought this yarn specifically for that, and am just really looking forward to kind of making it. Again, lots of cables. Yeah, it's just going to be really pretty. So I'm really excited about that. Another thing I'm wanting to do is I want to use my Advent from December. I was gifted the Blush Yarns Advent by my friend Natalie, who is the dyer, and I love it so much. I think I have a picture of it, and if so, I will put it on the screen. But I am wanting to use that. I'm really itching to kind of make something out of that. So I've been looking at different patterns, and I can't decide what I want to do. Some of the ones that I'm seeing are crochet, and last year I did crochet the granny wrap inspired by Allie of This Little Wonderful Life and Little Drops of Wonderful, and I love that shawl. I think it turned out beautiful. I don't use shawls though. I do like making them. I think that's really fun, but I'm not going to use it. But then I'm also more than likely not going to wear a scrappy garment of any type. So yeah, that's where my kind of conundrum comes in. I don't know what to do with it. But crocheting also really hurts my wrists a lot. And I am just more drawn to knitting than crocheting. I burnt myself out on crocheting about, I don't know, 8 years ago. And I can still do it, but it doesn't bring me as much enjoyment as knitting does. So these are the patterns. Let me pull them up so I can see them as I tell you about them. These are the patterns I am considering using. The first one is called Solstice Engrain, I think. And this one, I can't tell if I just love it because of the colors that are used in it, or if I'm going to love the pattern. I don't know. I think it's really pretty, and it's really looks really simple. This is by Opie, and it looks like it would just be really simple to do, not have to think about anything. And with the 3 seasons, looks like it's going to be pretty complicated. I think this might be a good, like, at the end of the night, I still want to knit, but I don't have the brain space to work on something complicated. This might be the right thing. So that's one. The other one is the Sleigh All Day Advent Wrap, and that's by Lofty Loops. I think this one is beautiful. It's simple, but then it also has different textures to it, so it'll still keep me kind of engaged. So that's another possibility. And then the third one is Dust of Snow by Helen Stewart. This one's been around for many years, and I've wanted to make it for a while, but I also, again, I just don't know. I don't know. I'm leaning towards the Solstice Engrain. That's the one I'm probably gonna do. But I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Those are 3 that I am thinking of, because I really want to I want to use that up, and I want to do something that's gonna be not done. Socks I can finish if I'm just working on them in a few days. So this would be a little bit longer and keep me from having to decide on something else. I don't know. We'll see. So those are what could be coming in the next little bit. So let's talk a little bit of life. Not that much going on around here. The weather has been up and down and crazy, and one day it's warm, the next day it's cold, next day it's warm but it's windy, making it cold, and it's just crazy. My allergies have been going absolutely bonkers. I've broke out on my face, I've had sore throat, stuffy nose, all the things. I have since bought Claritin, and I'm now doing my best to not go outside very often. So yeah, that's been interesting. Every time spring comes around, I'm reminded that I don't like spring. I also don't like fall when it's harvest time, because then that makes my allergies really bad too. I think I'm just meant to live in a somewhere cold, because I don't like the hot summer either. I just need to move to Alaska. That's all it is to it. That's what I need to do. I think I'm meant to be there. Actually, I think I'm meant to be in England with any allergies. I don't really care, but I would take it. So speaking of where we should be, we will be moving. Brian's contract is going to be up the very beginning of May. So that gives us 6-ish weeks, 5-ish weeks, making me stressed a little bit about when we will be moving. We have no idea where that will be. In the next probably week or 2, we're going to start looking for job opportunities. I am going to do a very big vlog series on this. I know you guys have been kind of wanting it. If you have questions about about that, leave them down below so that I can have them for that vlog. I'm going to show you the best that I can how we find new jobs, how we find new campgrounds, planning out our trips, and doing all that. It's normally very stressful and only a God thing. Like, that's all I can say is God's the only one who gets me through it. But yes, hi Chopper. But I'm going to do my best to film it and kind of show you how it works. And yeah, we would appreciate prayers and for God to just lead us where we should go next, because we don't know. A lot of people are like, where do you want to go next? And wherever it's paying the most, honestly. That's where I'd like to go, where it's paying the most and where the living is the cheapest. That would be great, but it doesn't always work out that way. So honestly, I have no clue. Anywhere in the continental US is my guess. So March is speeding by. I can't believe that it is almost the end of the month. It feels like March, it should be like March 5th, but it's March 24th and the 25th when this comes out. So I don't know where March has gone. It's really wild. It's been fast. I did film a weekend vlog that has gone up since the last time I chatted with you guys. It was not this past weekend, but the weekend before. Brian worked all weekend and I got a lot accomplished. So I filmed a vlog, and it is very long. There's a dog. This is River, the dog I was telling you about. And this is Remy. River, Remy, and then there's two others around here. But the vlog is up if you want to check it out. You kind of get to see me make some bags, you can see life stuff, all that kind of jazz. And I'm going to be trying to do some more, one of those maybe a month is what I'm trying to think of doing. I don't know. We'll see. I've got some ideas in my head of what we can do. But really that's all that we have going on right now. It's just kind of like life is speeding by. I don't know how, it just is. But TV talk, I finally finished my rewatch of ER, and when I finished that last episode, I literally felt like I didn't know what to do with my life anymore. I'm like, what do I do now? I don't have, you know, County General to go to every evening when I'm sewing or when I'm doing anything. So yeah, I've been mourning that a little bit. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Those last like 3 or 4 seasons I did not remember very much of. And I think that's because I got a boyfriend, then got married, then had a baby, all in that. So the thing about ER is it started in 94 when I was, let's see, in 94 when it started, I was probably 7 years old. By the time it ended in 2009, I had a baby and had been married for over a year. So that was my childhood, like huge chunk. It's crazy. Just to think about, like when I started, hey, quiet. When I started to when it ended, like the age difference is wild. But I really enjoyed watching that. Choose life, River, choose life. So, next I was like, what am I going to watch? So I, watched a few things that I had gotten behind on. So I watched the newest season of Sweet Magnolias, of Virgin River, and Call the Midwife, which Call the Midwife has a new season starting very soon here in the US. So I'm very excited about that. But I blew through those 3 really quickly. And then I was like, I really need to find something that is long-term, like that's going to take me a while. And on a whim, I decided to start rewatching Star Trek Voyager, which is my absolute favorite Star Trek show. The cat just puked over there. I'm really hoping it's not on my bubble cardigan. I'll worry about that. That's a later me problem. I am really excited to be rewatching Voyager. I loved that. It was also about the age of 7 when that started, and it was a very big part of my heart for a long time. So I'm enjoying rewatching those. The graphics from 1994 are amazing, and it's been fun. I'm only like less than 10 episodes in, so I have that for a while. With my husband, with Brian and Felicity, we rewatched the first season of The Last of Us. Felicity had never seen it before, but she plays the video game because my husband played the video game, and it's a whole thing. But she wanted to see it, especially before season 2 comes out, so we're gonna be watching that. It's a good show, but it's a lot. It's a lot. I love Pedro, so anywho. Then with my youngest and Felicity and Brian rewatched Andor, Star Wars. Brian and I had seen Andor the first season already, but the kids had not. So now Felicity has officially seen probably more Star Wars than I have, which is not fair. I need to watch some things. But anyways, she's seen like Tales of the Jedi and stuff that I haven't seen. But I digress. So we watched Andor, which was extremely slow. I don't know how it got a second season. I'm happy it has a second season, but that was super duper slow. So we enjoy it, but we watched that. And then Brian and I just started watching The Wheel of Time. I had seen the first season a couple years ago when it came out. And I wanted Brian to watch it. We tried watching it, I don't know, like last year, and we got 3 episodes in, and then we got distracted by something else. So we went back and started from the beginning and watched all of season 1, and now we're ready for season 2 and 3 of Wheel of Time, which is on Amazon. And when did Amazon start having commercials? I think that's ridiculous, because they want you to pay like $3 a month not to have commercials. I'm like, I'm already paying you. Why do I have to pay you more? Anyways, that's my complaint for that. But we're enjoying that. So, okay, that's all the life talk, all the knitting, yarny talk that I have. And I'm going to do just a little bit of a shop talk. I have had, I think, 2 updates since the last time I spoke to you. In the shop currently, as I am chatting with you, there are ready to ship 22 notion pouches, 13 yarn cups, 1 mini everything bag, and 8 drawstring bags. So those are all ready to ship. I, of course, have the create your own bag listings up that are always up there and ready for you to create your own bag and all that type of stuff. I am doing a Easter update, which I'm hoping to do the first week of April. I have the fabric here to show you. I am excited about these. I did a poll on, it just came in today. So I did a poll on Instagram. If you want like the most up-to-date information about yarn, or sorry, not yarn, about bag updates and like fabric information and that kind of thing, following me on Instagram and following my stories is the best way to keep up. I try to post it on like the YouTube posts here, but sometimes I forget to do it here. So Instagram's the place to be. But these are the fabrics that I am going to be using for my Easter update. This one with the cute, this one is way cuter in person than it was in the pictures. And then I have this one, which has the Proverbs Bible verse. I think that's the only one. Yeah, Proverbs Bible verse on it. And then I also got this one, which kind of is giving me a, I'm trying to show you the best way, Alice in Wonderland type vibe. Let me see. Yeah. With the rabbit, the hare. Oh, I really like this one. This one I might have to make myself a bag out of. Maybe I'll make myself a mini E out of this one. I have been eyeing this fabric for quite a while. And it was in the same store as this one, so I was like, I'll just add this in too. So that was my little treat to myself. So those 3 are going to be definitely in the Easter update, hopefully the first week of April, but keep an eye on Instagram and I will update you there. I think that's everything. I think that's all I have to chat about. So I am happy that you guys joined me. Thank you for hanging out with me. I will be having hopefully a vlog of some sort before the next podcast. And hopefully we can get some good knitting done. But thank you guys for watching and happy Easter, and I'll see you in the next one.